Heavy, thick, uncomfortably boxy. As an Android user, these were my initial impressions. Though after spending the last 72 hours, well, 96 by the time that you're watching this, with a brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max, all of those disparaging comments and thoughts begin to fade away just as well as the ceramic shield flows into the stainless steel body. As the clock ticked down and the hours passed by, I began to become immersed in this iPhone experience. The quote-unquote Apple magic became more apparent and a lot of grievances began to fall by the wayside. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is awesome to see all of you guys here again. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dave, and here I review tech and gear and things like that. And I'm a lifelong Android user. I was able to use the iPhone 12 Pro Max over the last few days, and although there are some things that I wish were there that I'll talk about a little bit later, I am really impressed. It all begins with the construction of the body. When I pulled the phone out of the box for the very first time, I couldn't help but feel as though it was just this heavy, thick, lumbering, unwieldy slab of technology. Though, as I've been using it over the course of the past few days, all of those thoughts have just sort of fallen by the wayside. It's very usable for myself in one hand. I'm loving the large display of the device, and honestly, the stainless steel side rails of the body feel good. They feel good in the hand to hold. This little portion of my finger, I don't know what this is called, between the tip of your finger and that first little crease is called, but the rail fits perfectly inside of there and allows me to grip the phone really well. Much easier than, say, my Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which, while it has a larger screen, is significantly slimmer than the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but that phone's a bit more slippery, where the iPhone, it grips better, which is something that I was really impressed with, and I've been able to use one-handed really easily, very well, and it feels good. The weight is no longer really a concern, and I'm just able to use it throughout the day without really having a worry about how heavy it is, how unwieldy it feels. It just feels good now. And speaking of the display, there are no disputes here. The screen is absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me a lot of the display on my iPad Pro, where the color reproduction is just incredibly pleasing to the eye. And then it's not to even mention all of the animation sets that are baked into the user interface, flowing between different applications, opening things, closing things, are just really pleasing. Content consumption with YouTube or playing a game looks great, and the games, we'll get to that a bit later, thumbs up there. But something I did notice, and a lot of people may attack me for this, let me know in the comment section down below if this matters to you at all, the refresh rate on the display. Again, for all intents and purposes, the viewing experience is very similar to my iPad Pro, but my iPad Pro has a 120Hz refresh rate display, and I noticed the difference. Not many people are going to. A lot of people say it doesn't matter at all. For me, as a user, I noticed the difference, and it's there. Now, the iPhone does feel smooth in everything that it does. There are no hiccups, everything is buttery and creamy, but there's an undeniable quickness to the speed on the iPad Pro display versus this display. Not a massive difference, something I've noticed, for a lot of people won't matter, that's just my end of the ballpark. Now, despite the lack of a high refresh rate display, being able to kick back, relax, and consume content on this device is really impressive. Watching a YouTube video or a video on Twitter or Reddit is really pleasing to the eye, and the gaming, boy, the gaming. For starters, the games look fantastic. The new 5nm A14 Bionic chipset, the device handles everything that you throw at it with ease. There's no slowdown or chugging. It just eats up all of the pixels and the coding goodness. Something software related that I just can't wrap my head around is why we can't multitask on an iPhone. And I don't even mean having a multi-window that you can move around, just something as simple as splitting your screen in half and having, say, YouTube on the top, or texting on the bottom, or Twitter on the top, and a web browsing tab on the bottom. The A14 is more than powerful enough to support this. The Pixel 5 that has Snapdragon 765, which the A14 blows out of the water, can do this and does it very well. I'm very confused by this. It just seems like a needless restriction. It's something that I personally use a lot on my Galaxy Note 10 Plus when doing some productivity things, signing contracts or working on documents, and also trying to cheat and watch some multimedia at the same time. It seems strange that we can't do it on something so powerful, but you guys let me know if that's something that you care about. This could just be anecdotal and a me thing. Oh, and I just wanted to take a quick second to say, if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome, and you're enjoying this video, a thumbs up goes a long way to helping out the channel. And if you're looking for more content like this, including a Black Friday iPad desk setup video that's going to cost you less than the entire price of a Magic Keyboard, desk included, we're doing that. So hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so you can stay up to date and watch that when it drops. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. The stereo speakers sound crisp and loud, and when you're playing something, it really blasts the entire gaming experience directly into your face. I'm a huge fan of this. Again, thumbs up there. Now, for those of you who see the larger display and are concerned about battery life, and that's a deal-breaking factor for you, you have absolutely nothing to be concerned about. The 3687 milliamp hour battery, though a strange number and coupled with a larger display, can be concerning. This battery life on the phone is fantastic. Routinely able to take it off about 7:30 in the morning, make it to day's end with about 50% battery life and 5.5 hours worth of screen on time. The battery on this phone is amazing, exceptional actually, and coming from a Galaxy Note 10 Plus that has really great battery life, this kind of blows it out of the water. Very impressed. And though I know a lot of you have seen the Pixel 5 and how the battery life on that is amazing, and I will say, when it comes to everyday tasks, navigating the user interface, opening apps, closing apps, doing normal everyday things, the battery life on that is great. Though my experience when gaming is really when you notice the battery take a very significant hit. It's an older chipset, it's just working harder. Or on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I'm able to do anything that I want, do normal everyday things, or play heavy games, or watch a lot of videos, and the battery life is still able to chug along great. So if you're concerned about battery life, don't be. This phone's battery, exceptional. And as much as I've been enjoying the device, there's just something I can't wrap my brain around. Same thing with my iPad Pro. Why can I not close all of my applications at the same time? I have to go one by one by one by one instead of just hitting close all and closing them all at once. I get it, Apple, your animation looks nice and pretty and smooth. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to close every app all at once. And it would be foolish of me to not mention the haptics in this device. I'm not typically someone that really pays much attention to haptics in phones in my reviews, but I cannot deny that they are absolutely fantastic. They're so good. The feedback that you get from this phone feels so good. Personally, the best haptics and feedback that I've personally felt in a phone, it just feels great. When I boot it up for the first time and I'm scrolling through just the time and date for my birthday, the feedback there is amazing. You feel the click of every single date that passes by, and just using the phone on a daily basis, the feedback that you get, top notch. Maybe I'm over gushing it. You guys can let me know in the comment section if they actually are that good, if you've tried it yourself. Maybe I am uncultured when it comes to feedback. It feels fantastic. Now, there are going to be some of you who want to benefit from the larger, gorgeous display to have better content consumption and game playing, and also the larger, super impressive battery so that you don't have to worry about your phone dying on you before day's end. But you have smaller hands and you're afraid that you won't be able to use the phone in a functional way. Well, thankfully, there's actually a built-in function where you can swipe down on the screen and it will condense your screen for you so you can more easily access everything with one hand. So, if you have Trump hands, have no fear, this feature is here. As a lifelong Android user, I've been incredibly impressed with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The feel of the body and the hand is fantastic, and the boxiness actually ended up being a plus for me in the end in terms of handling the phone and usability on a day-to-day basis. The screen is beautiful and the color reproduction is fantastic. The animations and the UI are incredible, much like on an iPad Pro, so there's no surprises there. It's fantastic. The battery life, tremendous. And despite some of the software things that I mentioned before that I personally would love to have on this, the device is amazing. And although I don't think I'm going to make the jump to an iPhone because of the things that I mentioned, if you're on the cusp of grabbing this phone and you're wondering if you should get it, if the things that I mentioned to you before either A, do not matter at all, or B, they kind of matter to you, but you think you could live without it. This phone is incredible in pretty much every sense of the word. As an Android guy, I can definitely recommend it. Of course, you're going to have some of the restrictions that come with iOS, but the phone's amazing. It really is. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us here today. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're new, hashtag new squad, and I'll go down there and show you guys some special love. And if you're looking again for a Black Friday budget iPad desk setup video that's less than the cost of a Magic Keyboard, including the desk, then we're doing that for Black Friday. Seriously, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so you can stay up to date and watch that when it drops. And as always, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us here on the channel. I wish you a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night, depending on the time that you are watching this. And as always, peace, love, adios. Bye.